Hey, we don't kink shame here.
I forgot all about that.
We don't kink shame here.
I never forgot.
Oh,
Unless
no.
it's you like the Nolan films, and then we kink shame.
That's not a kink shame. That's just incorrect. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the Cross Media Show. Today's topic is Zack Snyder's Justice League. And man, oh man, I can't wait. Before we get into it, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to give us a like and subscribe to help support us and see more great content like our new Marvel-centric show, the Marvel Mondays Initiative, our video game show, the Penultimate Conquest podcast, and our anime-centric show, which is Anime Nation, hosted by Ryan. If you missed out on any of this week's content, please feel free to check out the website, thepenultimateconquest.com, and check out our VODs and even see the schedule for the rest of the month when I finally update it, that is.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. It's on the schedule. I just don't know where I put the schedule, so that's why the schedule hasn't been updated.
That makes sense.
What's the schedule?
Schedule.
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. If this is your first time watching our content, my name is Ruben. I am the director of the Penultimate Conquest. Today I am joined by a lovely group of gentlemen. To my right, I want to say, I think it's to my right. I have Anthony. Anthony, how you doing?
Hey everyone, I'm doing great. It was an exciting weekend. We had not only the Snyder Cut, but Falcon and Winter Soldier started up, so it was just a great weekend all around.
That's right. What a great weekend it was. It was a hell of a week for comic book nerds, I guess. Superhero enthusiasts, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I also have with me Rich Dolphus from Twitch. Actually, I screwed that up. Richie from twitch.tv/Rich Dolphus. Richie, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. This is gonna be an episode, Ruben. I want you to know. Like, I've been holding back a lot of my thoughts because I didn't want to give away my impressions, but I'm going all out for this episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna go put
I
my
think I
Superman onesie
appreciate it. I think I appreciate that. I'm not too sure about that yet.
He thinks.
Yeah. Our special guest, one of our special guests is the great That Mario Rivera. Mario,
Thank
how's
you.
it going?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy that Ruben has not read my tweets, so he doesn't know how I actually feel. So I've been giving him dread this entire time before we started. So I'm very excited to ruin his dreams.
I hate it.
I love that I'm going to ruin his dreams right now.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Our next guest can be found on twitch.tv/VenomUnfitSnake. Is that correct, Frank?
Yes.
Frank, how you doing today?
Good. I feel, this is going to be a very good episode. You know my feelings. I'm a known Zack Snyder hater. That might change. That might not change. But you'll see.
Oh God, I am already regretting doing this. All right, guys. Let's jump right into it. Let's go for initial thoughts of the movie. Anthony, let's start with you. What did you? Yeah, I'm saving the best, I guess, for last. I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Go ahead, Anthony.
We'll see. So my thoughts were initially, it was a good movie. It wasn't perfect. There are obviously things that could have been fixed and changed. But I liked his vision. At least he had a plan, because when Warner Brothers wanted to do this, they were just like, we want Marvel, buddy. And so they're like, we're gonna do Green Lantern. Terrible. Everyone just ignore that. We're starting with Superman. We don't know what you're talking about with Green Lantern.
That's right.
And so it worked out pretty well. There was, obviously a little bit of controversy with Man of Steel, but on the whole, it did quite well for them. So they were excited to go forward with that. And so it's nice for this film, compared to the theatrical release, for it to have a consistent feel to it, as opposed to theatrical, where you could see where Zack was, and then it was almost so clear where Whedon was, and then it's just so odd now to have both films on HBO Max, nonetheless, to literally just be able to go back and forth to just see what changed and what was removed.
Yeah. unfortunately, my girlfriend had told me to watch the original Justice League
Smart.
before I did
In
this show.
preparation.
Smart move, actually.
It wasn't a smart move. That movie is so bad.
It is. It is a bad movie. I'll give you
But
that.
it helps. It does help.
It does help, unfortunately.
It does help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richie, what did you think of this movie? Initial thoughts. Sorry.
Initial thoughts?
Yes.
I fucking loved it.
Okay.
I love the hell out of this movie. I've watched it twice now.
Ooh, okay.
It's
And
8 hours.
oh yeah, and I did watch the original cut prior to, like, the night before I watched it, and then as soon as I woke up on Thursday morning, I was like, oh yeah, 4 hours, let's go. And I absolutely loved it. I loved the fact that they kept the main plot and everything, but how they got there was different, and it just. I
Okay.
love Zack Snyder.
All right.
I love Zack Snyder.
We're gonna get back to what you just said. They kept the main plot. I'm
Yeah.
not really too sure that's true. They did switch some stuff up a little bit, but we'll get back to that.
I'll go into more details on my thought on that.
Okay. Mario, initial thoughts. Please let it be good.
Like everyone here, I have done the homework as well. I've decided that in order to prepare for this, and as someone who did not enjoy Man of Steel, definitely did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
definitely.
Go ahead.
Definitely did not enjoy Batman versus Superman. I believe I saw it actually with Frank. We had a hell of a time with that one. That was the whole Uber trip, which was awful. Anyways, we also saw Justice League together, and at the time we're like, it's an improvement because we feel like it was all the things that we were kind of looking for, but at the same time, looking back on it, the original Justice League movie is not good. Especially after my original rewatch. My rewatch was enlightening because you can see the seams and where things are transplanted and are definitely a Joss Whedon thing versus a Zack Snyder thing. And it's just a really mixed match movie for an hour and 50 minutes. And so I watched it. And then the Snyder Cut was coming out about like 20 minutes later because I actually watched it close to when the Snyder Cut was coming out. I was like, I'm just going to watch the first part because I just got to see how this thing opens. And it opens and it is completely different. Like the whole opening is completely different.
Yep.
And Ruben, I'm happy to report that I really, really like this movie a lot.
Oh, thank God.
And then I've seen it twice.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good.
So yes.
Go.
Yeah, so go ahead. I'm gonna hold it there and we'll talk more about it as we go along.
Which leaves me with Frank. Frank, what did you think of this movie?
I want to preface this by saying I've also seen it twice.
Okay.
I watched it last night before I went to bed, just to kind of get a fresh idea. I did not watch Justice League again. I proved to Mario when we saw it that I remember exactly what happens in Justice League anyway, so I don't need to watch it again.
Okay.
I will say, in terms of what Justice League has done to me, as you see, I'm clean shaven now. I got a haircut.
So you're turning into Bruce Wayne.
He used to have red hair. Guys.
I used to have red hair. Now it's back to black.
So you're turning into Bruce Wayne, is what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, oh no,
No, it's camera. There
I
you go. You're
froze
good.
for a second. Am I there?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
we're back.
You're good.
What I am saying is, Snyder has reawakened something in me,
Oh, okay.
and that is my Christian faith. Snyder, Snyder has brought back something in me that I've lost before, and that is my love of Jesus. So I went out, I threw away anything that is heathenous, anything that is unholy. I cleanse everything that isn't with holy water. This is an actual bottle of holy water. And yeah. I will say that Justice League in itself is a very great movie. Snyder has done something here, given I think he had a little bit of a handicap with having 4 hours to fuck with, but it is a good movie.
Oh, thank God. I just want you to know that Fee came into the chat, and as soon as she heard you say he's reignited your faith, she said, I'm out.
Oh God,
Okay.
that went a
probably-
completely different direction.
Well, it's definitely because we just saw Castlevania, and we all know how the Christian faith is depicted in that show.
Am I Jesus or am I Superman? You can't tell. Oh, the camera can't even see that.
The movie. We'll get to that the Jesus stuff later, but it's a good movie.
God.
I liked it a lot, actually. I thought it was it did everything it needed to do.
Okay. Good.
This is my Bible. I'm all about it.
Green Lantern.
That is upside down.
Upside down Green Lantern. That's right.
If he reads it, it's because he reads it backwards. That's why.
Yeah, I started reading manga, so I had to read it backwards.
Oh God.
Oh boy. Okay, so the overall consensus is that this was a good movie. Can we all agree that this was a much better film than the original Justice League?
That is the caveat. It is a much better film.
I would go
Absolutely.
as far as to say that this is honestly the best Snyder film he's made.
Okay. Cool. Good. All right. Then I've been sweating for a good 20 minutes wondering if this was going to be in panic, wondering if this was going to be a complete shit show. But I'm glad that it's not. I'm glad that we can all agree that this was by far the better movie. And all right, guys, this is where we end the show.
Hold on.
I'll see you guys next week.
I'm kidding.
By the way, Snyder, the check better be in the fucking mail, okay?
No, of course, this is not where we end the show.
I love. Go ahead, Rich, and I'm going to tell the story about Frank, which is hilarious.
Frank just struck a debate within myself if this is actually my favorite Snyder film. Frank, what the fuck? Okay, I didn't want to have this internal debate tonight.
He's got to be soul searching in the middle of our conversation.
God,
Because like you think about like, okay, Dawn of the Dead, not that bad. 300, I remember liking it. Watchmen, you know what? It's kind of good.
We'll get to Watchmen in a minute because you know the things that I was saying when we were we were watching the movie together. But
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
But my story with Frank though was he only joined Twitter in Batman vs Superman when it came out, just so he could say "fuck Zack Snyder."
That was my first tweet.
Listen,
And if you remember, I also convinced two kids who were sneaking out because it's like 1 a.m. I convinced them to buy tickets for a different movie.
oh my
Oh
god,
my God!
you
Frank,
are
you are
a
a
horrible.
monster.
Yeah, you're a horrible human being.
I remember that.
Oh God!
So wait, but you're saying Batman vs Superman was a bad movie?
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's impossible. It gave us the great Bat flick. I don't know why I stopped.
I get it, because Batfleck.
Yeah, it gave us the greatest Batman we've ever seen on TV. Or on
Okay, first
film.
of all, what?
On film.
No.
Come on.
Best live action Batman?
Let me rephrase that. It gave us the most comically accurate
It gave
Batman.
us still no.
Yeah.
The best
The
Bruce
suit.
Wayne.
The
That suit as
suit.
well. The suit is good too. The suit is really good.
I think Ben Affleck
That's Bruce
portrays. I think Ben Affleck portrays both Bruce Wayne and Batman perfectly. Am I?
He's the best combo. He is the best combo.
He is the only person that has done it correct, in my opinion. Like Christian Bale was great as Batman. Don't get me wrong, but I think that he ultimately couldn't get the balance of Bruce Wayne correct.
There wasn't I can agree with that for the most part, but I will say that the actual detectiveness of Batman is present in The Dark Knight, especially when he goes to
Yes.
locate the bullet and stuff like that.
Absolutely true. Yeah, again, I'm not taking away from.
all those things. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like what we saw, we didn't get enough. To be totally fair, for a movie that's called Batman versus Superman, we didn't get enough of either to really justify their existence.
I mean, we don't really need enough. We don't need more
Hold on.
Superman, do we?
Oh,
Hold
okay. Now you want to fight? No, we're gonna get the fight going.
Okay,
You just
hold
said
on.
it yourself. Man versus Steel. Man of Steel was not a good movie.
No, it wasn't a good movie, but that doesn't mean I don't like Superman. Continue, Rich.
So here is my one gripe that I have with Batman versus Superman.
Okay.
Change the fucking title.
It's a bad title.
Take that versus out.
No, it was a great title.
Take the verses out. Because
take
that's,
the verses out.
that's why a lot of people fucking hated that film, was because you had the verses in there. They were expecting I want you to remember the one man that beat you, Clark. They wanted that iconic fight. Yeah, we got a good fight pretty much, but I mean, they were expecting it to be the whole fucking film.
I want it to be the whole fucking film. That's what I want to see. I want to see Batman beat the shit out of Superman.
No, see, this was our introduction to Batman. If they would have just said Batman and Superman, Dawn of Justice, or even changed the title from Dawn of Justice to something completely different.
World's finest, baby. Batman
Or
and
they
Superman,
could've just-
world's finest.
Or they could have just had a Batman film that led
Or that.
Right into
Public
this,
Enemy.
yes.
like a
My
fucking
landlord
proper
brought this up to
plan.
me. Say
Yeah.
Public Enemies.
Yeah, that too.
Totally cool with that.
Okay.
That would have.
But there is a reason why Batman versus Superman exists,
Yeah.
and this movie very much confirms it.
Yeah. Jesus
What's
Christ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But we'll get to the nitty gritty.
So, yeah, I'm sorry to get us off topic, but let's try to rein back in the show.
Sure.
Let's talk about the journey to get to this movie. The good and the bad.
Yeah.
Do we think that DC did a good job with this movie, if that makes sense?
No.
No.
Did this
No.
should this movie have happened?
Yes.
Yes and
absolutely.
no.
But to be fair though, a lot of it was both a studio thing
Uh-huh.
and a Zack Snyder personal tragedy thing.
Correct. Of course.
So I totally understand why we ended up getting this the one that we ended up getting.
The Whedon cut.
However, the Whedon cut. However, because now that we've seen this movie, there's just so much in here that just makes more sense. And I think it has nothing to do with the time length or anything. That I think that Joss Whedon went in and was like, "Oh, we need to change things and make it more lively," or he needs to put his words in people's mouths because literally all of the Superman stuff that is in this movie is really good.
Yeah.
Like there was no need for him to actually get the beginning of the movie. With
Oh
the
yeah.
whole-
What
The
do you
filming of the
hope?
moment.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Hope is a
Just-
river.
Hope is a
Like,
river.
first of all, it was like 4x3. No, it was like 4 by vertical, whatever the hell that is. But sorry, that was a
Instagram?
Pepsi.
It was Instagrammed.
It was Instagram,
Instagram.
Podcasting. But anyways, the fact that they thought like, hey, yeah, we're gonna just a fucking biker gang is here.
That's right. There's
Yeah.
a local biker gang who just like all they do is just ride around the neighborhood. They don't go
Yeah.
anywhere farther. They just in a big box.
Corona, I get it.
Yeah.
You're trying to, yeah. But anyways, like all the stuff that they did to like replace the audio and like change his scenes did not even need to happen. Everything that they perfectly laid out in the scenes that I saw could have just been in the damn movie, and you could have still gave him the color suit. It didn't matter.
Oh no.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
okay,
very much
Rich?
agree with.
I shared something on. I shared the post on Twitter, and
got
Aaron
slayed.
is coming at me saying I don't like Man of Steel. No, I don't like the fucking Dark Knight. Man of Steel's great.
Man, it's still
Thanks, Aaron.
But also, The Dark Knight is a really good movie, so I don't know what you're talking
Fuck
about.
the
really-
Dark Knight.
it's an
The Dark
actually
Knight
good
is
movie.
is
Like,
a
legit
is
a good movie.
I mean,
It's
I'd watch it.
literally one of the best Batman movies.
If I could
Probably.
inject the
I
Dark
mean,
Knight, into my
not even a
veins, I
Batman
would.
movie, but as a good movie. Like,
Yeah,
legit.
Yeah, no,
It's
yeah,
like
I
front to
agree.
back.
Yeah.
Like it's a good remake of Heat.
It's not even a Batman movie when you really think about it. But,
No, not at all. It's a Joker movie. Or no, it's a Harvey Dent movie. Okay, sorry. Continue.
yeah.
God, that's such a great take. It's a Harvey Dent movie. It really is.
Yeah, because
I can
Batman
appreciate that.
does
I will
take the
appreciate
back
that.
burner in that movie.
Yeah.
Like it's not really a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Aaron
you're right.
Eckhart as Harvey Dent, absolutely perfect though. I will state that.
1000%. I agree with that. Next to Billy D. Williams, give him a chance. All right, continue.
Yeah, but yeah, what Mario was saying with the movie, like just watching this movie like unfold and in the parts and like where they remove scenes, where they put scenes in, you can tell the studio definitely said, "Hey, Snyder, the big thing about like Marvel movies right now is that they're positive, they're lighthearted. We want more of that." And Snyder had this vision of this movie, and we've all seen it. We all know how it goes, what happens in that movie, and what doesn't happen in the Joss Whedon cut. And Joss Whedon's cut definitely feels like more of like a PG-13
Correct.
show your kids type movie,
Yeah.
whereas this one is dark as fuck. They go places where like there's a certain scene towards the end where I told Mario, like, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if we did this? And they do it. It's you know what I'm talking about with the whole like universe thing and everything like that.
Yes.
But it's in the scope of things. if you watch this movie the way Snyder intended it to, which is now, I guess, this 4-hour cut, everything in all his other movies now makes sense. And without his vision on it, Joss Whedon just confused everybody even more. And I feel like the studio did a shit job at like letting Snyder do his thing, but at the same time, I agree that Snyder kind of wasn't, he's got a little bit of a 4-hour crutch here. You know what I mean? This movie was not going to release at the time. If it was not going to release in 4 hours.
No,
it had to have been cut down to 2. And if it was cut down to 2,
I mean,
I don't think this would have been
a little bit. It would have been great better.
Yeah, it wouldn't have the same feel, but 4 hours was needed for this movie to fully kind of. I get it now, Snyder. I get what you're doing. Thank you. But
if I recall correctly, I believe he wanted to release this movie into 2 pieces. I'm not
just
was
2
the
separate.
I think
Yes.
originally
Yeah.
he had
Yeah,
a 2-part.
Yeah, so it was going to
It
be
was-
2 hours long. It was going to be the same movie essentially, just cut in half. So I probably would have liked that more, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
The thing
think
with the Matrix Reloaded and Revolution style, where like it came out earlier in the year,
Yeah.
and then the other half came out
later in the year, yep,
I would have probably been like, "This is fantastic."
perfect. Yeah, that would have.
I
been
will
great.
say though, if we did just get the first part, and I'm assuming the middle part of the movie is like the Superman on the cube. You know what I'm talking about? That scene.
Yeah.
I think that's where you end the movie there. But I don't know if there'd be enough payoff for like, is this going to work for the second half? Like, I don't know if there's enough there, but still.
There's not enough in the first part for it to be its own movie, but there's also not enough in the second part for it to be its own movie.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's where it kind of was lackluster. But again, I agree that this movie was pretty much exactly what I wanted, and I think Zack Snyder's vision for the Justice League, the DCEU, whatever you want to call it, I think he was going for dark and gritty. I think we already kind of knew that even before Man of Steel, when it was announced that he was going to be doing this, that it was going to be dark and gritty, and I was all for that because that's kind of what I want from the DCEU. Well, just from DC, I want Batman to be dark and gritty. I want Superman to be not dark and gritty per se, but like be the ray of sunshine that he is in this movie. If that does that make sense?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Go ahead, Richard.
No, Mario, I'll let you go first.
Well, I talk too much. Yeah. As a Superman fan, I was elated because I was missing that in the last 2 movies.
Yes.
So when I actually got the Superman that I wanted, it took way too long because when he comes up and he's in the reveal of that fight, it's the coolest shit ever. And I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
That lead up to him getting his suit, where it has all the quotes from both his fathers.
Yes, that's exactly
I
what I
hate it.
needed.
And I hated Jonathan Kent. And you know what? I needed that. I needed that moment.
Kevin Costner, like, his 2 dads are played by 2 of the greatest actors, in my opinion. Kevin Costner and Russell Crowe. Henry Cavill's blessed right there. Let's be real.
Henry Cavill has 2 angels singing in his ears.
Oh, he does.
The angels did leave out the part where Pa Kent does say, "Don't save people, especially children."
that too.
But we don't talk about that.
Was I supposed to let them die? Maybe.
That's in the past. That's in the past.
It's in the past. It's in the past,
So
Snyder. I
what,
forgive you now.
what I love with how they did the Snyder Cut version versus the Whedon Cut, Batman felt like night and day here. Like, he was kind of like, haha, I'm a little funny in the Whedon Cut, but in this film, it felt like Bruce Wayne. It felt like Batman. It felt like he was trying to make amends and keep the promise he made to Clark. And like when he even says that to this, when they're on the plane, it's him and Alfred. He's like, I made a promise on his grave. I was just like, damn, that is some wholesome ass shit right there. But also, I know the meaning behind it. But like everyone was making fun of the scream at the beginning. I was like, I liked it because that was the bell that Lex was talking about. That was the bell that started this.
Yeah, that's definitely where one of the big things where Snyder finally kind of he laid it out pretty damn well when you think about it.
He did.
Because that's the scene where you see it. I joke because I say like, oh yeah, that scream was fucking hilarious. Because imagine if you're just sitting in your room, right? All you hear is ah, and you're like, what the fuck was that? That's Superman.
But like, you know, like with watching the sound wave and like how it reacted to the mother boxes, and then it gets to the one with the Amazonians and it just cracks.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh fuck.
that's what it's
Like
for.
I thought right then and there that's when they were gonna pick up the movie and that's where Steppenwolf was gonna come in and just fuck everything up. I was ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
well, in that same scene, if you remember, the reason why I say this connects everything now is you see one of the last things you see is Luther in Zod's ship, and he's looking at Steppenwolf
with the mother boxes and
with
it's
the mother
coming together.
boxes. Yeah, so you know already that he was maybe working with Steppenwolf the whole time.
Yeah.
Which explains why he even has Darkseid stuff in his room at the end of one of the cuts. Or I think with Batman vs Superman, he has like Darkseid
I
stuff
do
as
want an
well.
explanation on where he got the pictures of like the
Probably
angels.
Steppenwolf. Probably
Okay.
Steppenwolf. Because he knows it looks like he's talking to Steppenwolf in that scene.
Yeah.
Like an image
Yeah.
of him, which explains
I mean,
why Steppenwolf even shows up in the first place after that, because there's no Kryptonians anymore. There's no lanterns. You know what I mean? And the only thing that could break those boxes was Superman's death knell.
The
Which
delivery
explains why
of that
he
line where he says no lanterns, no Kryptonians.
Yeah.
I was just like, forgot about the fucking Martian.
You forgot about the Martian.
The Martian was
the
like,
Martian,
all
man.
right, I'm gonna let you guys handle this. I'll be back next time. I'll be back next time.
Yeah, hold on. Let me practice my southern accent.
Yeah.
John Jones is just sitting here like, I guess I'll just go fuck myself then.
Well, I mean, he was like, let me try to inspire Lois Lane a little bit. Let's see if we can get her out of bed.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that was kind
I
of
had
weird.
to hop out of my fucking chair.
too.
because, like I was watching it on my monitor, right? And and I think that's what helped with the 4:3, which I will talk about that in a second because I fucking love the 4:3 aspect ratio of this film. When I got to that, I'm glad no one was home because I screamed. Like I was like, "Let's fucking go!"
Unite the
But
seven.
Me
it
and
was a
Frank
lot
did
more
it.
intense.
Me and Frank did the same thing, except I was like, "Oh my god, I can't! I mean, this looks bad, but I love it."
God, it's so
Anthony,
fucking good.
you've been a little quiet. Sorry, guys. Let me just get in here real quick. Anthony, you've been a little quiet. What are your thoughts? What's going on in your head? What do you think about all this?
So for me, when this movie was coming out, I was very excited because I could, like everyone here could say, they saw, as maybe you needed a rewatch, but you could see where the issues were coming from with the weeded cut, where it started and stopped. And then particularly as the fans kind of drove this campaign with all the ridiculousness of billboards, planes, but then also
I don't know
fundraising.
about ridiculousness, but okay.
Well, but still. But the fundraising they did also with Zack Snyder, the night before the movie came out on HBO Max, they were doing a fundraiser on YouTube, and they did. Now it's at 80,000, just on YouTube, and then in addition to that, Zack Snyder worked with them to get them concept art from the movie, one of Cyborg's jerseys, and like stuff that was signed with the cast, all this crazy stuff that they were able to do. Just because the passion of the fans and that they love these movies. We may not all be that passionate, but you can see that it at least connected with people as opposed to the weeded cut, which connected with no one. And so to come in here and see this, where it's people are acting how I think for the most part they should, as opposed to Whedon, or as you said with Batman, where it's right and then it's wrong, it's right and then it's wrong. And so to kind of see his kind of grand plans kind of start to crystallize in this movie was great. I am a creative writer, and so after everything that happened with this movie, I was like, okay, screw this Justice League movie. If I wanted to do this, what would I do? And this was years ago at this point, but my outline that I kind of created for myself, like this would be fun, with not only this movie, but then they put out the Jim Lee storyboards out in the museum, and you could see what he would have liked to have done, which if they brought it back, they'd have to change a lot because it's different now. But it's nice to know that he had a vision, even if the studio and Jeff Johns and all of them kind of screwed with it. It's nice to know that he had a plan and that maybe the studio wasn't confident, but he was. And I very much believe that it might have worked. It might have been a bit more controversial than we would have liked. Could you imagine that nightmare sequence being Justice League 2 and just having to like set all that up and then just
Oh my god.
the ridiculousness of that and then going competing with Marvel? It's just crazy.
Yeah, the supposed like Batman and Lois Lane stuff. Which I'm like, all right, that's the one element I'm like not in for,
Yeah.
but everything else I was like, I see where you're going with, and then I'm willing to see the finality of how that ends up. But yeah, I think everything you say is correct. The one thing I do want to point out, and you said it early on, and Ruben sort of like brushed it off. There was early on the Snyder Cut over, and even that sign that you were saying,
Yeah.
that was coming from maybe not the sign person, I'm not sure, but there was a tinge of fans that were not pleasant very
Yeah.
early on.
Yes.
That were actually
Every group
abhorrent.
has it, and it's just going to be what. But
Yeah,
the majority that were the fake
I would say a
forward
lot of
facing it.
afterwards. Yes, the foreign face would have like once became like about charity and about especially the actual tragedy that happened and how to be aware of that and stuff like that. Like that, I thought that was heartwarming to see these fans so excited for this and to put so much faith towards it, and even Zack himself coming back and like participating so well, and him even fighting the people that were perpetrating all the bad negativity of the Snyder Cut too. Like just recently, there was a thing where he was on a podcast with the people that were doing bad things, which was hilarious. You should see their faces; it's so great. But yeah, 100%, I agree with everything you said.
Oh man. I do want to ask a question here before as we continue on the conversation. Do we think we got a sequel?
Yes.
Oh.
In a way,
There's
yes.
Yeah. So WB has HBO Max, and they need stuff to put on it. They would love to do Harry Potter, but contractually Universal is still tied to that, so they don't want to do that for Universal. They want to do it for themselves, so they're
Correct.
going to wait until it expires, or they can buy themselves out of it, or whatever they need to do with that contract. And WB doesn't have a lot of properties to build on in terms of going forward, particularly with the pandemic screwing up productions for everything. But I think, as we've all seen online, the Snyder Cut has done very good traffic-wise. Twitter trended for like whole day, all that sort of stuff. It's done well enough to where I think they could do. They're already pushing for the multiverse with the Flash movie. I don't see a problem with giving Zack space to make his own story. It doesn't necessarily have to be the blueprints that we saw in the Jim Lee art, because it's probably going to change now.
Yeah.
But he could just go through. He doesn't have to pick up on the Nightmare timeline. He could just start. We have the Justice League, and we have John Jones, and we could go through and just start doing different kind of stories on HBO Max as this kind of limited series we kind of saw with these parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could even put it under like a cool label, like DC has their like mature label. Just call it the DC Black Label. You know what I mean, like shows.
I personally think that good actually.
No, you go. I'll
You
let
let
you
me
go first.
let me go last time. Go,
Okay.
go.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna go instead. So
So I think especially with that little segment in the epilogue, even if they just did that as a, let's say, 8-hour miniseries, 8 episodes, 1-hour increments. If they just did that in that ultimate, I'll call it the Omegaverse. We'll just call it the Omegaverse. If they did, if they did that, I would watch it. I think that would actually be a really, really cool way for Zack Snyder to show, hey, here's what I want this version to be, but here's what I want the actual Earth 1 version to be.
I have a question for you on that.
Okay.
Which version of the Nightmareverse do you think you would choose? Because if you notice that every version of the Nightmareverse is a little different than the last. So
Right.
the one we get has a live Batman with a group. Right?
Yes.
In the universe that we see in Cyborg's kind of vision, you see, I believe that picks up. I thought at first it was Batman who Superman's holding, because if you've ever read Final Crisis, there's a scene where where Superman's holding a bones after an Omega beam.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Batman anymore, because later on he's holding
No, it's
holding a
Lois.
cowl. It's Lois, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's holding a cowl, right?
Yeah.
You see him holding that. That's the scene right after in Batman versus Superman where he pulls off his cowl and kills him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's two universes there, right? And then there's
I
the
think
third
that
universe
is still a part of the main or the one we saw at the end. It's just later. It's after
maybe
everyone in the group has that is the end of his story.
Yeah,
that is
maybe.
the end of
that
where
could be
Bruce.
the exact end for that. And then there's
because it could lead into each other. Yeah.
And then there's also technically maybe the third universe where we're technically talking about spoilers at this point, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Spoilers.
Towards the end where by the way, I didn't think they were going to do this, where the mother boxes converge and everybody dies, and technically Darkseid wins.
Yep.
That's a third universe. So we've already starting to see little parallel timelines here going on, and that's not even to tell if this universe that we're seeing here, where the Justice League wins, still leads into the Apocalypse universe.
Yeah.
But we'll see about that.
So I do have a theory on that. It is that that essentially is the beginning, middle, and end just out of sequence. We saw the end first, then we saw the beginning, and then at the very end we saw the middle. Because with the boxes forming and becoming one, we see, Apocalypse with Darkseid and his group of horrors. Holy shit, I got chills at that point.
Yeah, the parademons.
And not even that, just his two right hand, or his right hand and his left hand.
Yeah.
The whole crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I popped. I was fucking screaming it beyond at this point. I was like, I didn't have a calm bone in my body. That could be taken very dirty. I apologize. Anyways, when we got the vision where Cyborg is trying to, or when they're resurrecting Superman and Cyborg is like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do this, and he gets to one, and then he has the vision. It's like you said with the Omega Beams, where he stabs Arthur with the trident and then kills Willem Dafoe's character, and then we see him Superman holding the dead body burnt to crisps. I had either the thought that was Lois or if that was Martha. I'm 90% sure it was Lois, but I feel like Martha would break him a little bit more.
It's 100% Lois.
We don't say that name on this podcast. I'm sorry.
Martha.
Which I will defend that scene for reasons. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Okay.
But I think if we could just get a little mini-verse with that little Apocalypse Omega-verse, I'd be 100% okay with that, because one, it would give Jared Leto more time as Joker, because
we don't really need that, though.
You have to admit that whole ending scene was absolutely fucking fantastic.
No.
And the dialogue between him and Bruce was uncanny.
The dialogue was great. I just don't think Jared Leto
I just don't
is
like
the
his laugh.
person.
I don't like his laugh, but I love the way he looked.
I like the way he looks, but I will say that even from both their perspective, it was like two fucking kids writing. Batman, who's gonna give you a reach around? Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'm just
asshole. And then you got an actual
by the way, apparently Batman's a bottom. I didn't know that.
Batman's straight up a bottom. And then you have like a professional like Deathstroke in the background staring at both of them like, these fucking kids, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna kill one of these motherfuckers. But which I'm glad they kept the Lex Luthor Deathstroke scene on the boat at the very end.
It's better,
I'm glad
too.
they kept that.
Justice to Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is. So good for him.
Oh no, Frank.
He's
There you
back.
are. But when Bruce is telling Joker, he's like, I held Harley as she died and you left her there, and she begged me to fucking kill you. I was just like, oh fuck, are we gonna see that now, or is he gonna just throw Joker a Darkseid and just be like, here, have fun with him, I don't care anymore?
Well, they need him for something, right?
Yeah.
So whatever that ended up being. I mean, personally, I don't, because I think the train has left the station when it comes to these movies. And granted, Flashpoint could fix things. Even though I wanted Flashpoint to fix things to begin with. So I would say
Flashpoint to fix Flashpoint right now, though, because that that's been in production hell from day one.
And
I mean,
finally,
how many writers did they go through though?
no, tons. And to be honest, I'm hoping that this is finally sticking because you shouldn't be making viral videos of your casting announcements if this is not going to actually play up. But
Correct.
yeah, I personally feel like that the best route here is to not do anything. This is it. However, this could continue as a comic.
Or even a small little series on HBO Max. I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to lead. It doesn't have to be big budget movie thing.
Okay. Cool.
Did you have something to say?
What?
Yeah, so in reference to the Flash movie, one, the production for that movie has been held up partially because of the script, but also the Fantastic Beasts still is a dud because they got rid of Johnny Depp and they're replacing it. They're going through all that. And where they're shooting it, the studio, the lot where they're shooting that is where they're going to shoot the Flash movie. So they literally won't be able to do anything until that movie's done.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, when did Flashpoint get announced? Back in 2015, 2014?
Really?
Same as the
Long
Cyborg
time
movie,
ago.
which things have clearly changed. So,
and I'm pretty sure that movie is kind of dead in the water. But also, I feel like the Snyder Cut did everything for Cyborg that you can at this point.
Oh yeah, actually, Snyder Cut did a lot for Cyborg in this movie. They made me actually give a shit about the character. He went from I'm sad to I'm sad, but like I know I have a purpose, and this is my purpose.
Which I also wanted to touch on before, but I had forgotten about. The Snyder Cut. The problem I had with the Whedon Cut was two things. One, they just gave us a really shitty story for Steppenwolf that wasn't really accurate at all.
yeah.
Like that, and also Cyborg and Barry were just there just to have him there, really. But this cut gives us more for Cyborg's story, definitely. Yeah, it was definitely more fleshed out, and also for Barry, which he was comedic relief, but he wasn't as much comedic relief as he was in the Whedon Cut for me.
Yeah,
which
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, which I applaud because I don't want Barry to be that much of a jokester, you know.
Yeah,
Barry in the Whedon Cut just felt like he was, he wasn't like stupid or anything. He's
a child.
I don't know how to properly
nervous,
put it.
Very nervous all the time.
Where in the Snyder Cut, like you could tell he's new to this. Like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he has more confidence in himself.
Yeah.
Yes, he's still he knows he's the Flash at least.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know he's the Flash.
I thought they were gonna.
Well, he
use
knows
that
he has
scene from
powers.
Crisis.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll say this to combat it. When you watch the Whedon Cut, he's very frantic. He's always thinking about like a mile a minute, like that's sort of his thing. But he's also fresh and like scared.
Yep.
But when you see this one, I think he has a more of an understanding of what he can do because he does emphasize in a lot of scenes here that he is a scientist at heart. Like he has someone that knows about the properties and what he can do.
Yeah.
And he's confident about that. And I think that's what's actually refreshing in this versus how they did it, where it's like. It was like, I don't know what to do. I'm, like, what am I? I just push things.
Save one person.
Yeah. Save one person.
It's save one person. You just gotta save one. It's just like no, he's already technically kind of the Flash already at this point. Yeah. He knows how to fucking save somebody. The first thing he does when in this movie is save somebody.
Yep.
So you don't need that scene where like you need just one person to save. It's like no, we don't need to do that for Barry Allen.
The saving Iris scene, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it. I
still don't know I don't know how I feel about it.
I fucking love it, especially when he grabs the hot dog and just puts it in his pocket, and then like he just rushes back in. He's like, I always keep like a meat snack. I was just like, okay, that was funny.
Yeah. We didn't need that many hot dogs in that scene because it just made me. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she just sent me the GIF of the girl getting like thrown on hot dogs.
Dogs raining on Iris's face.
Yeah, and that's all it was for me. I can't get that image stuck out of my head, you know?
I think it's just the transition between the touch and the hot dog was just...
Which was also...
Your mind forgets that he was talking about a pet store.
Yes, but it was also weird that he didn't just grab her, which I enjoyed. He positioned her in the spot for him to grab her. So it was kind of like accurate in the sense of like, oh, if I grab her now, like she's probably gonna hurt her. Like I'll probably kill her if I grab her now. Let's position her the way I should. So
Yeah. He was gentle about it, which I appreciate.
Yes.
The music choice, I don't know about.
Yeah,
But
I'm
the
not
music's
sure.
a little weird.
I'm not so sure.
But I mean, in terms of the Flash, I mean, the irony is that Joss Whedon, I feel, used too much slow mo for the Flash in his cut. He's supposed to be a fast character. You're not supposed to be able to see him very often, and having that weird like fluidity, like Barry's underwater kind of look in that movie did not feel very Flash at all. But in this one, like the first thing you see is the Flash. Like, yeah, he does that, but then from there on throughout the rest of the movie, other than the Batman scene, which was already shot, I guess, he's constantly zipping around. You don't see him moving slowly like that.
Yep.
And
which is great.
it feels way better for the Flash than Joss Whedon did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony, do you have something to say?
In terms of the Flash Irish scene, I love that you guys are picking up on different things. Because for me, just the way he like caressed her, because at this point in his life, that's just a strange girl. A stranger.
Yeah.
It was like maybe pretty.
After
he
watching
just got
this-
real weird about it.
Not with that stare in the beginning.
That's what. So I watched it twice, and there's that stare where they look at each other. So I'll give it a little pass.
Like a love at
Little
first sight
pass.
type deal.
Little pass.
still
Well,
But
she
it's
keeps
still weird.
staring at her even while she gets in the car. Like,
She fucking
I
stared at
mean,
him the whole time. Like that's the
stared
reason she's
back.
in a car accident because she kept fucking
Hey,
staring at
guys,
Barry.
guys, it was just a meet cute moment. That's all it was. It was just a little meet cute.
Literally, meet cute.
yeah. Anthony, continue.
In terms of, because we're allowed to kind of talk spoilers now.
Yeah.
One interesting thing to look at the Snyder Cut versus the Whedon Cut is the amount of people of color that were just cut out of the movie. Like
Yes.
clearly, Cyborg got just shafted.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is one of those rare Justice League stories where Cyborg actually works as a member of the Justice League.
Correct.
Because a lot of the time, writers don't know what to do with him. He's just like a teleporter, like in the X-Men. The rule is always to have a teleporter. In a lot of stories, that's just Cyborg's role. He's a teleporter, and he's the one that hangs out at the Justice League Watchtower or the Hall of Justice to let everyone know there's an issue, and then he goes against them. At least this time with the story, there's like an actual growth, progression, and he's useful.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And then to get the Adam Ryan Choi in a little bit, which I think was great, not only because he's like a cool character, but like we all know that China makes a large amount of the box office now. I think the Chinese audience would have loved to see that character, and then to be able to go forward with that character to his own movie and his own adventures would have been great.
Yeah, no, I was Frank probably could attest to this the whole time. I'm like, what's on his name tag? Because he's called him Ryan. They don't call him Ryan Choi until like the very end. And I was just like, where's the name tag? I gotta know. And then
We're
once
like
he said
pausing
it-
the movie, like
Yeah.
trying to see if the name
Analyzing.
tag says Ryan Choi on it.
and we get
Like
to the
it's
end,
Ryan Choi. We know it. Just say the damn name.
Oh,
So that's one thing with the Snyder Cut that it touches on a lot more is we know where we are in the Snyder Cut versus like the Whedon Cut. Like in the Whedon Cut, when they're at Star Labs, I didn't realize they had built like a Star Labs facility around the Zod ship.
The ship.
So I found out, by the way, it is not Zod ship. It is
Oh no,
the
that's
ship.
the one that
It's not-
crashes,
it's-
right?
It's the ship that crashes in the Antarctic or whatever.
Yeah.
They bring it over
Oh.
in Man of Steel, and that's
Yeah.
why it's there.
Huh.
Zod's ship gets destroyed in the World Engine.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, that makes sense why his suits are there. And
Is that the
why
one Christopher Maloney? Is that the actor who
Y-
played
yeah.
yes.
Christopher Maloney? Is that the one he crashes because he kicks?
He crashes it
what's
into
her name?
Zod's ship and then makes the
Yeah.
whole exactly.
I do have a
So-
question about
yeah.
that ship. There was one person that was in the one of the pods. I wasn't really sure who it was.
That was well, if you watch Man of Steel, it's the same shot, right? Where it's open.
it's the
and
same shot.
It's a tease that it might have been Supergirl this whole time.
Well, no, because there was
Kara.
another person in there that was closed. It was
Yeah. But it's
Okay.
teased that the open one was Supergirl.
okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I was asking for who was the person in the pod.
Oh,
A
probably
dead
her
body.
dead
Yeah,
body.
Oh yeah, the dead body
Okay.
of his like one of his people or something.
Okay.
Like
By
that.
the way, there's a lot of dead bodies in this movie. Let me tell
Oh
you.
yeah. So
This movie was
that's-
fucking brutal.
This movie's
This
got
movie-
a body count. They killed my man Kilowog, okay? It
Oh
wasn't
my
cool.
God, it was the worst.
Was
You
that
know what?
supposed to be Kilowog?
Yeah, it's Kilowog.
Okay. I couldn't tell which lantern that was, and
Go ahead, dude.
go ahead.
Snyder clearly loves the source material. We could see that in Batman vs Superman with his odes to The Dark Knight Returns, and again in this with the Batman tank. Snyder, being just the mega nerd he is, went and like, okay, this is old Earth. Who was the old lantern that patrolled this sector? And so it's not even necessarily Kilowog, because went and found that one.
Kilowog's later. Kilowog's
Like,
later.
There's 2 lanterns in this movie.
Yeah, there's the one in the Dark Side battle at the very beginning where originally it was Steppenwolf,
Yes.
which I love that change. I
It
fucking
was
love
much
that
better.
change.
Yeah, it didn't really
It
make any
works
sense.
so much better.
But yeah,
But-
Dan, you're right. That's that nerdy thingness of it being the original lantern from like way back in the comics too. It's like,
So I thought that you were saying that it was Kilowog at the very beginning. I
No.
forgot about the one where it's the cyborg vision, where when it's showing.
and his costume looks so good.
It looks good. It looks so
I was
good.
wondering who that lantern was, and now that you said that, that makes more sense because I was like, oh, the lantern from earlier. But I want to bring something up really quickly. A few months, or I think it might have been almost a year ago now, Ryan Reynolds said he had filmed a scene for the Snyder Cut.
Yes, I was
And
going to
Zack
get to
Snyder
that.
was like, okay, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to jump.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I was just going to mention that Zack Snyder was going to probably put Ryan Reynolds in there, but he chose not to, which I'm
Okay.
kind of glad that he didn't because
There were 2 reasons I thought, or 2 people I thought he could have been.
yeah,
And since the Snyderverse isn't, like, I guess,
Canon or whatever.
canon, yeah, I was going to say he's either going to be Hal Jordan or he was going to be Hawkman. I would have been fine with both.
I'm okay with either.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have been, because we're getting Hawkman in the Black Adam movie, right? He's going to be a part of the JSA?
Yes.
Okay.
They already cast him, I thought too.
Yeah, I can't think of the actor's name.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys brought up Steppenwolf though,
Yeah.
because he has a radical change in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, his
compared
code
to-
is so much different.
He's not necessarily in the first movie, in the Joss Whedon cut. He feels more like a general who's looking to take the throne for himself.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna fuck over Darkseid as much as I can. Whereas this one, he feels more like how he's supposed to.
Yeah.
He's actually afraid of Darkseid.
Yeah.
He knows he takes off his armor, gets naked, and bows down to him and says, "I found the anti-life
anti-life.
equation for you, dude. Like, please let me come home." Like he's an actual. He's a piece in the cog instead of trying to be the whole invention.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it feels so much better without having some like dumb subplot where you have like a subordinate villain trying to become the big dog, because there's no fucking more of a big dog than goddamn Darkseid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just listening to that man have his speech later on in the movie, it sends chills down your spine. The guy sounds like fucking Kratos. Okay? Like,
Ray Porter did such a good job. Ray Porter
goddamn.
absolutely fucking owned
I
that
don't know.
role.
I don't know how you can make Darkseid even more terrifying, but somehow Snyder and Ray Porter did it, and goddamn it was so good.
Did anyone I got chills during the whole like old Earth battle, right? Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we see Artemis like fucking shoot him in the throat or the shoulder with the bow.
Yep.
And
By
like
the way,
just
good to
seeing
know that those were Artemis, because in the Whedon
Yeah.
cut, you don't get name drops for any of them. You don't know
You
who
don't
they
see-
are.
You thought that was
you see
Shazam?
Zeus and you see the battle axe. You barely see Artemis. I thought she was one of the Amazonians.
Well,
Yeah.
I thought Zeus was like a Shazam character.
Yeah.
That's what
like
I thought it was
Shazam.
supposed to be, like Black
So they're
Adam or
like-
someone.
And they're like, well, no, it's Shazam. Sorry, Zeus and Ares was there, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Ares from the Wonder Woman movie.
Yep. Which was great.
By the way, the old gods carried that fight. It's
Oh, yeah,
no wonder why they had such a fucking problem.
Absolutely.
The Lantern's like, hey, I'm gonna fuck this up. Nope. It's like the scene in Justice League War where Hal
Yeah,
Jordan's
exactly.
like, I'm gonna go up and punch it, and he goes, yeah, and it breaks, and then he gets fucking bitch slapped. That's what happened to that Lantern.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
So brutal. And Darkseid almost had a ring.
Almost. So
Almost.
close.
And when he fucking reaches out to grab it and it fucking flies off, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's get another Lantern here.
I was hoping we saw another Lantern in here, like actually come join in the fight, but
Like a tease.
yeah.
I thought we were going to see the Lantern at the very end at Bruce's house instead of
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Or like during the montage of like different like what everybody's doing post like the Steppenwolf fight.
Yeah.
Just like everybody's living their lives, and then what would have been really cool is someone just like you just see a table and you see the ring on the table and just someone pick it up. You don't have to see who it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the skin tone would tell you who it is. If it's a white dude, probably Hal Jordan. If it's a black dude, John Stewart.
Yep.
Well, and this is going to be a very hot take. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I would rather have Kyle
Yep.
over
No,
Hal.
I understand. I get that.
I also
But I'm also a Hal Jordan fan, so fuck.
Oh,
Hal
I love
I'm
Hal
a John
Jordan,
Stewart
but
fan.
I feel like Kyle doesn't get enough love, so I feel like it would have been great to introduce him.
Nah, Guy Gardner.
Just let's just establish the Green Lanterns first, and then we'll work our way to Kyle.
so
and shove his girlfriend in a fridge.
apparently,
Christian.
according to Christian, Christian says Warner Brothers told Snyder no lanterns, which is kind of stupid.
That hurts.
Yeah. Would've been
But
great
aren't
if
they?
we-
Are they? Is Snyder's doing the Green Lantern Corps show for Netflix or for HBO, isn't he?
No,
Or
he's
he has
done
some
with
involvement.
DC.
The HBO show is being produced by the Berlanti company, the CW people. So they're producing it. And so
Okay.
whoever directs it eventually, but it's being produced by them.
Yeah.
And it'll be on HBO Max. And then Jeff Johns is still signed to do the Green Lantern film. We don't
We'll
know
see.
if that's ever actually going to
Yeah,
happen, but
I
they are
don't-
working on the HBO Max show.
I
So.
doubt it's going to happen. I think if anything, they're just going to try to pivot to TV shows.
I
Which-
remember when they announced the Green Lantern Corps during the night we got the first trailer for Suicide Squad during like that CW event. I think it was the Flash season 2 premiere,
Yeah,
I think so.
if I remember correctly.
it is what it is.
God
Um,
damn, this
Do you guys think that this whole cut would have been better in parts, or do you think like the 4-hour movie
Yes.
was?
No, I don't think so. I think this would have been better they did it the right way. I think if they had sent it out as cuts, people would have been like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Just
Well, you see how
hold
each
on.
one of them starts and ends.
Yeah.
Each part has a good theme
Yeah.
that pays off by the end of the part. So it feels like a good like cut to end there. Like you can always come back and just eat every single piece up instead of
Okay.
just watching the 4 hours.
It also didn't
But-
matter because everyone complained like, "Oh, it's 4 hours.
That's
I
the
can't
whole-
sit through something for 4 hours. I watch all of WandaVision in one go, but I can't sit through this for 4 hours."
I just watched the whole season of
I watched-
Mandalorian again, and
I
it's still
watched Lord of the Rings back to back, all fucking 80
that's the
hours.
argument
of
I made.
them.
I was like, I watched the Lord of the Rings extended cuts from start to finish at least once a year.
you're a monster.
So it's just
Hey,
like,
don't
come
fucking
on.
attack me like that, okay?
It's just too much. That's like 12 hours, isn't it?
so. We all like the cut thing, right?
Yes, I was much more pleased that they did it all in one shot than if they had cut it up.
So let me point out if they did do it in parts where I think the best part to end it at would have been, and like where to like so they drop the cube, Superman gets revived, he flies out, and then he lands looking at the memorial. We see Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman show, and he just turns his head. Cut to credits right there.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah,
No, not episode. Like if they did it in theaters, cut to credits. That would have been the movie for part 1. Part 2 pick up right there.
well, I would have cut to credits when his armor was shooting at him. The Cyborg's armor should just sent him a shot, and then that's when you cut
I
to credits.
think him turning his head would have been more suspenseful because we're like, are they about to fight? Is he about to,
If
like, what's about
All
to
right, here,
happen?
I have a better way to end this, right? So
We all have our
same
ways.
thing. Superman comes in, right? He comes in, he comes down. You see the whole team right there, right? Cyborg shoots a shot and shit like that. He hits it, and then he looks at everybody dead in the eyes and just looks at the camera and goes, "Fuck Batman."
No, I mean, to take it back a second, this is why I said it earlier. Because thematically, like I said, if you cut the movie in half, it doesn't work. But if
Yeah.
you cut it to the point where there's the big action scene, which of course happens underneath Stryker's Island, which is much better than this movie by
Yes,
far.
yes.
I think that's your big ending fight scene. And the scene that leaves you off to bring you into the next one, because it gives you a purpose as to why the second movie would happen, is when they're all surrounding the cube and they're having that conversation about the house of the smoke. We're all thinking it. We're all thinking who's going to be the first person to say it. And then Cyborg just shows that. That's where the movie ends.
Yep. You're right. Because then the next scene. Yes. You're right. Because the next scene could be like the beginning of that next movie is Steppenwolf getting that cube, and then the rest of the movie is fighting.
Yeah,
and I like the fact that Barry's the one to bring it up to everyone. He's like, I know we're all thinking it. Like, I don't want to say it.
Who's gonna say it?
Please don't make me be the who's gonna say like. And it makes more sense because Barry has all the fucking movies on in the background when Bruce is in the Batcave, or not the Batcave, but the Flash Cave.
The Flash Cave.
Yeah, the Speed Cave.
Just the thematicness of the way that would be a great, like, that's why I referred it back to if they did it Reloaded versus Revolutions, because it sets up the purpose of what that second half would have been, which is to resurrect Superman to then lead into your final battle, which I think that just
Mario, that actually is perfect.
Mario went to school for this shit, okay? I know Mario can cut a good film.
Huh.
I like that, but Mario, I'm not gonna give up on my where I think we see Cyborg have that vision. I will die on this hill. But we see Cyborg have that vision, when he's touches, or not touches the mother box, but when it's falling and he shows the Omega Beam and everything, and everyone dying, and he's like, wait, no, and then Barry's like, wait, go, and then Barry runs, and then if you have that Superman head turn, the suspense right there, that would kill it.
I get that, but I think the suspense. I mean, the reason why I think it works better the opposite is because the rest of the movie, there's no hook to continue other than just a rest of a movie. That's why I think that there has to be a lead in to why you would go to see the second half. Yeah. The lead in is to see if we can even bring back Superman in any way. That's why I understand the head turn is cool, cutscene moment. Yeah. But at the same time, I just think thematically we need a purpose of why there is a part 2 to this movie. If we're just going to cut it, we're just cutting and the battle continues. We know what the journey is, but I think there needs to be a reason why you get to there. Which, of course, that's the way Reloaded ends. It ends with where the fuck is Neo, and then we have to get Neo. That's that
makes more
cool
sense.
Little payoff. And gives you enough suspense to want to keep watching it
again.
Part of me was like, I got to go back.
And then just one more thing to bring up with this too. We've all seen Watchmen, correct?
Yes.
This movie feels very Watchmen, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And I'm okay with
the way
that.
the scenes are moved with music, just like Watchmen is. We start scenes with the Iris scene, for example, when Iris is walking in, it feels like something straight out of Watchmen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Even the parts,
Yeah. So one thing I will bring up that I'm kind of sad they took out of the Whedon cut and didn't put into the Snyder cut was
the fish.
No, not that. I laugh at that every time though. That is just a stupid fucking line.
Fish.
Yeah.
But the cinematic open where it's showing shots of the cities and it's going through the cast list and it's playing the very Bob Dylan song.
Sure.
Yeah. That was a Watchmen opening right there. That felt very Snyder-like.
It did.
I do wish that would have been in the Snyder cut, but I also like the tone difference they did with the beginning. So it's I'm torn between which one I like more.
Definitely Bruce Wayne going up a mountain was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a good place to start it, yeah.
I will say after watching it again, there's still not a lot happening in that opening. It's people fighting over produce and knocking boxes over, and I'm just like,
Superman's dead. Milk should be $1.50, not $2. This is bullshit.
I think that's
$3 out here right now.
The one problem I had with this film is that they took out fucking Danny Elfman's Batman.
I think it's better without it.
It's better without it, dude. And
Danny Elfman's Batman has a more whimsical feel. It's more fluttery. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
It works for Whedon's cut.
Yes.
Because that's what Whedon does.
Yeah.
Whereas Snyder has a more Nolan feel to the soundtrack here. And it's more of
oh, hell yeah. That's sexy, Mario. Yeah. That's really sexy.
It works for that type of film where Batman is more of a old school Silver Age type Batman.
Yeah.
And this one is definitely more modern day, Dark Knight Batman. You know what I mean? You're going to get more modern day Dark Knight music type feel to it.
Ruben, I was with you when I watched Justice League the first time. I was like, oh my god, there's the Danny Elfman like Batman score, and then there's the part where the villains in the bank where they're like going up the stairs, and there's like that like like that like very Danny Elfman like giddy goofiness. And I remember watching it, this time to prep for this. I was like, oh, this is out of place. I'm happy that the Christopher Reeve has like a little like music cue in here, but it also doesn't fit. And this is just like, so I'm happy that I felt like this was definitely taken it and made it feel more natural into the world that they were creating, which of course is a much sadder world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as much as I love those little cues, it just ultimately in this world, it doesn't have a place in the Tim Burton verse, 100%. And then the last thing I want to say though is shout out to that obnoxious new Wonder Woman song, which
so good.
Every time it happened, I was just like, I'm just like, come on, I love it.
You brought up actually. You should tell them what you told me about the bank scene. How different that bank scene.
That bank
felt.
scene is a completely different scene now that I see it.
Oh, it is.
Just because of the music.
Not
The
even
music.
just 'cause
Mario pointed it out when we watched it the
Because
first
I was saying like the weird like
Yeah.
comic booky people. No, these are terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
Scary fuckers.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, because I was like, all right, whatever. When she does the whole fucking bracers thing, that dude gets fucking obliterated.
Oh, that dude got toasted. That man is like
That's what he gets.
banished to the Shadow Realm.
I love and hate this scene. I love and hate it because
his little fucking hat floating down and shit, and I was just like,
cool.
where the fuck is the rest of him?
Oh yeah, no, those children are traumatized. Like, not only are they traumatized for being kidnapped and almost blown up, they also saw Wonder Woman kill many men.
So,
This
that
scene-
scene works and doesn't work because the next part is she talks to this girl. And
Yeah,
is like,
I want to be here.
I'd be
just
like
like you.
Yeah.
What, a fucking murderer?
What if she want to murder somebody?
Dude.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Wall, and there's a head splatter.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's
and then
okay.
there's
It's
just a
good.
puddle of blood
It's fine.
where his body
The guy
is.
grabs
fine.
the gun. There's blood everywhere.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh god.
I do have last two questions for us, and then we'll close out the show. Does DC shift its focus from to more movies in the same universe as opposed to the many one-offs that we're about to get? And Anthony kind of touched on that when he gave me his answer for do we get a sequel? So Anthony, go ahead. Let's see what you got.
The pros and cons of having WB be in charge, WB Film be in charge of the DC brand is they don't really care about DC. They just want money. And so like they tried to force this to be like Marvel, and then they're like, screw it, make what you believe with Joker, and that got them Emmys and stuff. And then they're like, what if we try and do a hybrid like dark serious movie for us, but also more lighthearted with Shazam? And that didn't connect with people, unfortunately, because I love that movie.
I do love
But it didn't make its money back.
It's really good.
And so they have to find a way to do something different. And Patty Jenkins was like, trust me, I got Wonder Woman. And then it didn't work out.
To be fair, I think we got to give Patty Jenkins the respect that she deserves. Yes, Wonder Woman
she deserves
1
respect, yes.
was
but
an
She's
okay
a good
movie.
director. Writer,
Hold on.
questionable. Go ahead.
yeah, she deserves respect for being able to do that first movie. But she did that first movie with Zack. He was a producer on it.
Correct.
And WB had a lot of their people in there
Yeah,
to help.
yeah.
And when she got the success from it, she was like, please give me more control. And they did. And she got rid of a lot of those people. They did not come back. She hired a lot of her people, and they made 84. And so if she's going to do the third one, she needs help again. She needs people in there to make it more palatable in terms of what we can see what she wants from a Wonder Woman story. A lot of the audience does not. But going forward with stuff like Flash, because I think it's Walter Hamada is his name. He is signed on through getting Flash done. That is going to be his, like, I'm going to fix this. And Flash is going to do it for me, hell or high water. And so outside of Flash, we don't really know. We know Black Adam and Shazam too.
JSA,
Aquaman, too.
Shazam.
Yeah,
I don't think Black Adam is coming out.
There's like
Wonder Woman,
Satana
so-
stuff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh my god!
So
I
we don't
would
really
love a
know
Satana
what
movie.
their plan is beyond Flash will fix this. So I don't really know how, because we saw what they like with Joker. They like that. And they seem to be doing it again with the Batman. That's kind of their hope.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, well, yeah.
James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
We keep forgetting about that, but that's coming out too.
Yeah, there's not a lot. But so it's weird stuff like that where we got James Gunn and he likes the team people, so we're going to give him Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And presumable Wonder Woman and Aquaman 2 sequels. But outside of that, yeah, that is happening, isn't it?
It's also happening too. Thank you, John Cena.
Oh, God.
John Cena. Oh, my God. It's going to be on HBO Max too. So, like, that's going to be one of those things where everyone's going to, well, presumably, a lot more people are going to have the chance to experience that for what it is. So, I don't know. Goes.
That comes out right before my birthday, so I'm going to go see it in theaters. I don't fucking care. I'm going to the theater to see it, and then I'll watch it when I get home on HBO Max to make sure I caught everything.
Go to the theaters, watch it, come back home, immediately watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna come home with I'm gonna get a refill as I'm leaving the concessions and everything. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna sit down on my bed. All right, let's do this again. Round two.
Just cue it up before you leave.
Yeah, why not?
Have it ready.
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
just
no,
leave the TV on.
Oh yeah, I guess I could do that.
Oh.
I was gonna do a midnight premiere if my theater does that here.
Oh, okay.
And then when I get home, because I'll only have to wait like an hour.
Richie, what do you think? Do you think we?
Ed, you done? Just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think, Richie? Are we getting more one-offs, or are we going to get a shift?
With the reception this movie has received within just the past few days of it coming out, I honestly would love to see Zack Snyder come back. If we can get Zack Snyder to come back, I would love to see him do more movies for his DC universe.
Have him be the Kevin Feige?
Have him be the Kevin Feige. Have his universe. I mean, if they want to do like the little one-offs, they can.
Yeah.
But people need to understand that these aren't going to be connected. Joker, not connected. The Batman, not connected. I still do want to see Ben Affleck's The Batman film, the hit Batman and Deathstroke film. My fingers are fucking crossed too. Like, I think it's going to be an HBO series. I'm calling it now. It's going to be an HBO.
No, I don't think Ben Affleck's coming back as Batman.
I think with how the reception this is going and everything, I think we'll get Snyder and we'll get Ben back eventually. I don't think it's going to be like a this year or next year thing. I think it's going to be a little later down the road. Let all the water and everything settle. But I do have faith that we will get them back at some point.
Okay, Mario.
I personally think this movie, this project, this art piece, this almost never been done before in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, we've had director's cuts, but this is something
like this.
on a whole,
Yeah,
not like this at all. Like, this is something in a lot of ways powerful. I mean, as silly as this movie is and as dumb as a lot of aspects, and yes, I totally understand where a lot of people are coming from and think it's overindulgent. At the same time, as someone's vision, as someone who's made something, I thought it was wonderful that they got a chance to come back and do this, specifically since the movie ends for Autumn, his daughter.
So that hit me hard.
It hit me hard as well. The fact that this was something that he had to give up due to that tragedy and to finish for sort of like it's strong. It's just, at the end of the day, no matter what you say, I think that's this element that's the strong, and then the money that they raise is absolutely impeccable.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this is the swan song for his involvement in these movies. Personally, I think this is all we needed. It teases what he could have done to go forward. At the same time, I think that's just a nice little thing that they got to do to wrap up so many stories. Like the fact that there wasn't a Batman movie starring Ben Affleck, and Joe Manganiello was supposed to be a part of that. He's in the end. He's in this. The fact that we have Batman talking to Joker finally. I mean, they didn't necessarily share a scene in Suicide Squad, but they were around each other.
Yeah.
This was finally like the interaction I think people were looking for, and it's, silly or not, it happened. We got it. That's cool. I think going forward, and they're going to do this with the Flashpoint because Ben Affleck's in it.
I thought he was taken off the project.
No, he's in it.
He's still in it.
Okay.
Yeah, Cyborg got taken out.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, okay.
And Swan Song for Ray Fisher, who got dicked over completely on this.
Yep.
And we get to now see like how great his character was, and I was excited if there was a Cyborg movie after this. There
Yeah.
definitely won't be because of the way they treated him and all that.
Yeah.
So no, I think this is personally just a swan song. I think that if they're gonna fix this universe, if they're gonna do a universe, Flashpoint has the highest chance to do so, to correct the course, and however they're gonna proceed with the Batman, in which the Batman in itself, is in its own universe. The weird thing about this, and I guess it doesn't really matter, because when you try to explain things to parents, because this is a movie for us, this is a movie for wide audiences. It's like trying to explain, it's like, well, the Batman in this and it's not connected to this Joker. It's like, at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to let that go.
Yeah.
But I think just having single tales in the DC universe is probably going to be the direction that they go forward. But I'm not too positive. We'll see. But yeah, I'm happy that everything that they did here. But yeah, I just don't think so.
Okay.
I do have one quick comment to make, going back to the what Mario said about Autumn. I saw a post earlier today that Hallelujah was Autumn's favorite song.
Yeah.
So, and it was sung at her funeral by Alison Crowe, and the version that was sung at her funeral is what they used for the end credits, and that hit even harder.
Yep.
And I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
So that was just it's not a fun fact, but
a fact nonetheless.
I guess.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Frank. What do you think?
Well, first and foremost, I think that DC's future is not in movies itself, but I feel like they should start doing the Marvel thing where they have smaller, digestible series on HBO Max. I feel like that's where movies and all these different Marvel and DC shows are going to start moving towards very, very soon. The idea of just this big movie that you have every 4 or 5 years just doesn't seem like it'll cut it anymore. That aside, I thought, I think in terms of a continuation of Justice League, I think it will happen eventually. It's not going to happen anytime soon. I don't think this is going to be something that next year we're going to have a continuation. No, It's going to be another 4 or 5 years before we probably ever see this universe again. In terms of what Snyder did here, I think he did something really, really difficult, which was he tied everything he needed to tie up. He showed everybody okay, this was my actual vision here that you guys can all now see. Everything was kind of connected from the beginning. And if it doesn't continue, I'll be okay with it. I do want to see more of the nightmare scenes because I just want to see more Deathstroke. I want to see more Deathstroke stuff.
Yep.
Especially with the obvious what the Batman was going to be, the solo Ben Affleck movie was going to be Deathstroke trying to kill Batman pro bono, and then also knowing Batman's identity now, which is a really cool comic tie-in because most of the time Deathstroke already kind of knows who Bruce Wayne is. It's pretty obvious to him, but he kind of just doesn't talk about it because it's a professional courtesy type deal. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think we'll see Snyder Cut stuff anytime soon, if we do see any at all. But he definitely made me eat my own words because this is, in my opinion, Snyder actually trying. And with the whole For Autumn thing, you can definitely tell that he definitely put a lot more time and care into this movie because he did it for his daughter. He did it to prove that he can actually, because all the hate he was getting before. You know what I mean? This is 100% just here's me putting out everything I possibly can in a movie, and it definitely shows. And I'm very, very happy that he proved a lot of people wrong with this movie.
Same here. And my last question I have, which kind of doesn't really make sense, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Where do you wish it could go if there were more Snyderverse movies? Anthony?
I would love to have more team-up movies, I guess that's the word. More team-up stuff, because a lot of the Justice League have all these great things that kind of tie them together. Batman, Flash with the crime area, that's a great thing to go off of. Wonder Woman and Aquaman with the big royalty, having to lead people and that sort of thing, having to go with that. And that Cyborg was set up so well in this. I don't really care who he works with. I just kind of want to see more of him, which is never going to happen. And then to have Martian Manhunter come in this cut sets up a lot of interesting things with Superman and Martian Manhunter, both big aliens, big the last of their kind, having to try and fit in, all that sort of stuff that they kind of work through separately, and can kind of work through to kind of get Superman an equal to work with and talk to and all those sorts of things. Would be very fascinating. And then also, Batman in this movie kind of gets his hope back. He's going on faith. But I would love to see a partner, Batgirl, Robin, whatever, to kind of get Batman back towards the. I know everyone thinks he's a loner, but he has one of the biggest supporting casts of comics.
Yeah.
And I would love for audiences to be able to experience all those wonderful characters.
Okay, cool. Reggie?
Injustice. I would like to see it go full on Injustice.
Okay. Do you want to explain that?
Like I don't. So like it was said in Man of Steel by Barry. She's the key. Lois is the key. She's always been the key to Superman's downfall. It's been established. They've laid the ground. No matter which way you look at it, Lois's death is going to send Superman into a spiraling rage and turn him into a tyrant. I need it. I want to see Snyder capture the Injustice universe.
Okay.
Whether it be a miniseries or a movie, I don't care. I just want that content.
All right. Cool. Mario?
Well, I don't want that. Because I have been run down by the Snyder mistreatment of Superman. So I think I'm kind of over that at this point. I will say, and I think Frank kind of teed off this idea for me, but I think this is perfect. And the way that they kind of teed off at the end of this movie, which is the sort of formation of the Injustice League.
Yeah.
I think it sets up perfectly that this is the movie where Batman assembles the Justice League. He brings everybody, but he also has to have a contingency plan to take everyone out. So I think that the Tower of Babel story
Yes.
Doom.
is the way to go.
Absolutely.
Like the Injustice, discover his plans.
Mhm.
They try to take them all out with all the reasons that Batman has figured out. Set Martian Manhunter on fire, which he's gonna have to learn that in the span of the movies. But I think that, and as much as I'm trying to avoid the nightmare stuff because I'm trying to if they're gonna go a different direction, let's just go with more Earth level stuff. So that's personally where I would take it. And it could be the introduction of Eobard Thawne. The Riddler could be in it. Joker could have been in it. Deathstroke fighting Batman in certain aspects. Captain Cold, whatever they want to go with it, I think would have been kind of fun if we have those more ground level sort of fights. As much as not everything always has to go cosmic, but at the very least, I would love a story like that personally.
Okay, cool. Frank, what do you got?
Well, this movie already sets up Flashpoint.
Yeah.
does.
Barry, if he didn't know now knows he can at least go back in time, but he does know he can time travel at this point.
He does.
He did it twice.
So
Yeah, he says it twice too.
yeah, so he knows what he can.
I don't want to break the rule.
Yeah, it depends on their version of time travel because there's a bunch of different ways to interpret time travel, but I think that's definitely our next thing is we're gonna probably see a big universe reboot through Flashpoint. I hate for them to use it so early because you only get a few reboots with DC stuff.
Yes.
You get a few crises. You get a crisis on Infinite Earths, and then you get a Flashpoint, and that's usually what reboots these universes altogether. So for them to use one so early in the universe kind of feels like cheating, but if you want to continue this universe, that's what you have to do. Like I said earlier, I personally think that it doesn't necessarily need to be. Flash can be a big budget movie. It's already set to be a big budget movie, so it can be a big budget movie. But from there on, I really do think they should have more Just give me a season of Aquaman. Just give me a season of Wonder Woman. Give me a season of all these characters kind of doing their own thing somewhere else and not having a 2-hour time limit to condense into a movie. Even if it's animated, you know what I mean? I'll watch it.
Okay.
DC does a really good job with animations. There's no reason they couldn't do that. But I really do think that Flashpoint's the next big movie that we're going to see, and then from there on, we might smaller, more digestible things.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I would have liked to have seen more background stuff with Ben Affleck's Batman. Just show me the Joker killing whatever version of Robin that is, because sure, let's go with that. I'm hoping it's not Dick Grayson, but of course I know
it is.
I know.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate.
Snyder, yes.
I know. It's very unfortunate.
Which funny thing, I actually have that shirt where it says "Ha ha ha, you lose, Batman." Like I bought it at Hot Topic and wore it to Suicide Squad.
Oh God. I want to see more of how Batman has gotten to the point where he has to brand people, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I would have also liked to see more. Well, I'll probably see it in Flashpoint, where just more Barry Allen, and if they do decide to continue Flash's story, like in other movies, I would also like to see Eobard Thawne pop up, which would be great.
Oh, he's the villain of Flashpoint.
I know. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want more of Barry and Eobard fighting, as opposed to, oh yeah, we also have these other characters that we need to talk about. So, yeah.
I have my casting for who I want to play Eobard Thawne.
Who do you got?
Y'all are gonna hate me, but I said it earlier. Who I wanted to be sponsored by on this episode, Matthew McConaughey. Put him as Eobard Thawne.
That's not terrible. I mean, that's not a terrible. No, that's actually not bad.
Hey, I've always said, like, if we ever got Lobo in the live action, like the like big Lobo, Danny Trejo should play Lobo.
Oh yeah, that would make a lot of sense, actually, Danny Trejo.
What about
especially if they go like for the biker, like the biker Lobo?
I mean, like Danny Trejo in like Desperado, maybe like 30 years.
The guy playing Homelander is actually a really good one.
What about Homelander?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Homelander was my choice.
Yeah.
Homelander was my choice.
I've had a couple choices, but Matthew McConaughey is always. I'm a Matthew McConaughey stan, so like that's always been like a number one pick, because I feel like he could capture the monologuing perfectly in just making Barry hate his life. But also, like, you want to hate Matthew McConaughey in most films, but you end up loving him anyways. So.
You know what movie he was great in, Richie?
What movie?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No, Interstellar. You know,
it's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's medium tier for me for the Nolan films. He does do a good job. So
you're a monster. I want you to know this.
We've
he has a lot of great movies, man. It's hard.
You're telling me Interstellar is medium tier? No way.
He has a lot. All of them are great. How far can it go?
Okay. Well, I mean,
except for Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises at the very end, but
trash. Yeah, it's garbage. We don't really.
We don't talk about Dark Knight, actually. No, Dark Knight's
after we end this podcast, I'll have to give Mario my list so he can tell me how big of a monster I truly am.
All right, I want to hear. Yeah, I definitely want to hear this, especially where Insomnia fits in this list.
All right.
I've actually never seen Insomnia. So.
Ooh, watch it.
Insomnia is really good. Yeah, I would definitely watch it. All right, this is where we're about to close out the show. Let's start with the plugs. Anthony, where can people find you?
Digital Encounter on YouTube, and for Twitter, just take the E off Encounter.
Okay, cool. Reggie, where can people find you?
Right here on Penultimate Conquest. My Twitch and Twitter, they're both Rich Dolphus. So that, and then yeah.
Okay. All right. Mario, where can people find you?
You can find me at That Mario Vera on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, just by searching that name. And of course, you can always find me at the Point in Progress, where we do a lot of great work with my friends.
That's right. Frank,
some friends.
I would say a couple of friends and
Try to find him.
and that guy above you.
He's above you.
Frank, where could people find you?
Just give me a second. I'm blessing my hands with holy water.
Oh my God!
You can find me at twitch.com/TV Venom Unfit Snake. I might be changing that later. I've realized Venom Unfit Snake is a very long name to say and remember, and it sucks asshole to transcribe it every week. You can also find me at Point in Progress, where I talk with some acquaintances. I wouldn't really necessarily call them friends.
Ouch!
No, I love everyone on Point in Progress. This week we actually have a guest, Shotgun McPain. His Twitter handle is at Shotgun McPain. He has some very spicy takes this week about what he wants to do. So if you want to tune in on that, we have a guest this week.
Okay, cool.
But that's really it. Other than that, and at Twitter at the same name at Venom Unfit. That's basically it.
And eventually, me and Frank will do something on my YouTube channel where I think we're going to talk about movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet! I would actually love that.
In the same
Oh,
vein
now
of,
I definitely have to tell him my Nolan list.
Yeah, we definitely want to do something in the same vein of like Red Letter Media type stuff. You know what I mean? Where we have,
100%.
like, skits and shit.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to that. You could find me here the rest of the week. Twitch.tv/Penultimate Conquest. You could find us on YouTube. Just search up the Penultimate Conquest. We don't have that lovely custom URL yet. We're working on it though. You could find, like I said in the beginning, VODs on the website, the penultimateconquest.com. The rest of the week, we are doing shows for... That doesn't make any sense. The shows we are doing for the rest of the week are the Penultimate Conquest podcast tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Talking about Microsoft's Bethesda acquisition finally being finalized, Pokemon news, and more. We are also doing our Marvel Mondays initiative tomorrow. We're starting that tomorrow. It's going to be great. We're talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 1 with a couple of special guests. We are doing an Among Us community stream tomorrow, which I'm excited for. That's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern. And then we're going to be doing our usual Attack on Titan episode for Tuesday with the lovely Fiona from Point in Progress. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right? I think so. Oh yeah, and we're also doing Richie's show, which Richie,
Yes.
please.
So I have officially been offered a quest by Ruben, and I will be talking lit RPG books with my best friend Joel. The first episode has been postponed quite a few times already due to weather and other circumstances. We haven't been able to do it. Which, if our original plan doesn't work, we have a backup for what we're going to do. But lit RPG books are my passion right now, and I went through 100 of them last year, so I want to talk about them. If you want to know what a lit RPG book is, please feel free to tune in to the very first episode of Stats on Stats this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's right. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you just all banding together to talk about the Snyderverse, the Snyder Cut, actually. And I'm gonna say it right. The last thing I wanted to say was, what was the purpose of Zack Snyder sending out that picture of Joker as Jesus?
To unite us.
To unite us all.
Yeah, to unite the six.
Unite the
Also
six.
get news articles written and free promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That actually makes more sense. Okay.
And also to let us know that Jared Leto was back.
Unfortunately,
We live in a society.
Jared Leto didn't need to be back. You know, that's all I have to say. Okay.
Sounds like the fucking penguin.
Now my question is, where was Michael Keaton going to show up in this film? Like, were we going to see his Vulture? Oh no, wait, that's Morbius. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's Morbius.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you once again, and have a lovely night.